Uh-oh.
How on earth did you end up at MVP? Who made the contact? Obviously, I'm assuming you was a free agent, so what happened?
Well, they've got Greene, haven't they? She's got my WBO, which got stripped. So it just made sense, really. She got beat off Franchan, and I've got the IBF, so makes it a unified.
That card is pretty mental. I know you fought an all-women's card before, but this could probably be the best, and it's going to be difficult to beat.
Oh God, I don't know how many well-titled fights is on it. It's a brilliant villain. MSG, Netflix.
That is Savannah Marshall, ahead of her upcoming fight with newly crowned WBO champion Greene.
Brief history.
Savannah Marshall already became this division's undisputed champion in the unification match between her and Franchon Cruz. But after that, things got kind of quiet, kind of stagnated. Savannah transitioned from boxing over to mixed martial arts in pursuit of a Claressa Shields rematch in the octagon and not the boxing ring. Needless to say, that didn't work out. And from then till now, Savannah was stripped of the WBO title.
2 of her other titles went vacant too. Franchon picked those titles up. She's currently unified champion at this weight.
Franchon has the WBA and WBC titles. Jadeja's got the WBO, and Savannah was only left with the IBF title. She means to get her WBO title back. I think she can, albeit under less than ideal circumstances, because it's been well over a year since she last fought. And even though I think she is a harder puncher and a more talented fighter than Jadeja Greene, that kind of inactivity, it matters.
Gonna be shaking off ring rust in there.
MVP decided to pick her up. They signed Savannah Marshall, and I don't think it was with the express purpose of just facing Jadeja. I think they signed her with Claressa Shields in mind, in order to facilitate that ever so elusive rematch, but Claressa doesn't seem to want it.
You see, before the excuse was that Claressa would only do the rematch if it happens in America, but nobody in America, her promoter included, has the money to make it happen.
Now the excuse is she doesn't want nothing to do with MVP. She doesn't want nothing to do with Jake Paul. So that rematch and getting it done, it will remain elusive, I think.
It doesn't help that Claressa's still up there at heavyweight while Savannah's at super middle.
But the biggest obstacle, the biggest hang-up really is Claressa not wanting to work with MVP and not wanting to work with Jake Paul.
So what's Savannah gonna do? If she goes in there, she beats Jadeja Greene, unifies those 2 world titles, what then?
She could always run it back with Franchon Cruz for undisputed. In order to become a 2-time undisputed super middleweight champion, she could always do that, but she could also always move up. There is Che Keneally at light heavyweight holding the WBA, and Lonnie Daniels holding the IBF.
Wait a minute, isn't Lonnie Daniels about to fight Claressa?
She is, but it's not for Lonnie Daniels' IBF title, and it's not at light heavyweight, it's at heavyweight. So if Lonnie goes up there and loses to Claressa Shields, that may not affect her status as a champion at light heavy, at which point Savannah can challenge her for that title!
The WBO title was registered as being vacant, and the WBC title, it's the funniest thing. The WBC uses the heavyweight version of their title as the light heavyweight version of it also.
What?
Because those divisions are so barren, because it's such a wasteland, the WBC heavyweight title also doubles as the light heavyweight title. It's weird, I know, but that's how they do it.
So you figure that if Savannah beats Jadeja, she's got 2 or 3 options there, maybe 4. She can run it back with Franchon for undisputed, or she can move up in weight, fight Chekanili, fight Lonnie Daniels, maybe pick up the WBO title along the way.
She's got 1 or 2 things she can do, not exclusive to a Clarissa Shields rematch, that if she keeps driving a hard bargain, Savannah's got options.
MVP has alternatives to keep her busy and keep her active more so than Boxer did when Savannah was with them.
See what happens.
However, man, I'm just letting y'all know right now, if the De Los Santos that comes in the ring against Shakur Stevenson, if that dude comes in, it's gonna be something. It's gonna be a challenge for Keyshawn Davis. That's for damn sure, man. That quick first step is ain't no joke, man. That boy is fast. And Shakur got the fastest feet, man, and understanding of distance in the business. And he was able to get the hell out of the way. But, Keyshawn is pretty damn good too, but he's not Shakur Stevenson. Keyshawn will step back. He has a step back game. He will take a couple steps back and he will circle out. But damn, man, if De Los Santos sneaks him, because De Los Santos, he's sneaky, he's tricky fighter, man. Very slick, clever southpaw, has both punches, has a good jab. He'll come underneath, kind of like how Usyk come underneath the guard with jabs. He'll stab you down low as well. He'll bend his knees, you know what I mean? And he'll do a level change and he'll sneak attack you. But his first step is epic, bro. It is epic fast, and so the first step is basically your draw. You know what I'm saying? Your draw. How quickly can you pull the trigger? How quickly can you close the distance? And De Los Santos seems to be able to close distance rapidly, man, like quick, and he catches guys off guard all the time, sneaky power, speed and power, very sneaky. I would advise Keyshawn Davis to exchange with this guy because he will get caught in between.
Ominous warnings from 2-division champion, Hall of Fame inductee turned ESPN analyst Timothy Bradley, warning young Keyshawn to not take Edwin lightly. Don't just sell out. Don't trade with him. He's got sneaky power, enough that he got Shakur Stevenson's respect for 36 minutes, and he may get yours.
Yeah, that is true. If you keep a guy like Shakur on his bicycle for the entirety of the fight, it can't be because you don't hit hard.
It's because you do, and he doesn't want to trade with you. Now, Keyshawn Davis is a different type of fighter to Shakur Stevenson, where Shakur responded to the offensive Edwin with defense.
Keyshawn is the kind of guy to fight fire with fire. That's what makes him more entertaining than Shakur. Simultaneously, it's what might make him a little bit more vulnerable,
more hittable, that he's not going to spend 36 minutes circling away from Edwin. He's going to meet him.
I'm not too worried about Edwin, to be honest.
And that's not saying that Keyshawn should take his eyes off the ball or take him lightly. He's the one who's going to be fighting him after all. That's just saying that I'm not worried about Edwin.
I trust Keyshawn to handle him the way that he handled Gustavo Lemos, the way that he just handled Denis Berinchyk.
I think he will handle the Dominican slugger, who, unbeknownst to most, has not fought since the Shakur Stevenson fight. So while he looked fast and strong and sharp and dangerous with Shakur, that was over a year ago. Now, what's his timing gonna be like? What's his speed gonna be like, having not been under the hot lights for that duration of time? Gustavo Lemos was an aggressive customer too. He was fast and strong too. Gave Richardson Hitchins a lot of problems. But he wasn't able to do that with Keyshawn.
Well, Edwin De Los Santos has a bit more to him than Gustavo.
Sure he does, but so does Denis Berinchyk, and you see what Keyshawn Davis did to him. I anticipate he's going to make short work of Edwin De Los Santos. He will measure his approach at the start and find a way to get to him to deliver that power in the middle. Edwin De Los Santos has been beaten before, not just by Shakur.
Yeah, he lost a split decision to William Foster a couple of fights ago, couple of years.
Come on.
This is another homecoming fight for young Keyshawn, who's proven himself to be quite the draw in his native Norfolk, Virginia, where I think he sold 10,000 tickets already.
Was that the Gustavo Lemos fight, wasn't it? Big homecoming fight for Keyshawn.
This one is too, and the tickets appear to be selling well, very well, that the lightweight division has another draw, another ticket seller, though not for very long. I do not anticipate that beyond this fight, Keyshawn stays at 135. I give him 1 or 2 more before he moves up to 140.
Why?
Because he's not going to have any luck getting Gervonta Davis in the ring. He doesn't want to fight his old buddy Shakur. Vasilo is missing in action, leaving only Raymond Muratalla to contend with. And Raymond does not represent a great enough financial value that you should continue to boil down to that weight just to fight him?
I don't know. I give Keyshawn 1 to 2 more fights before he ascends to the super lightweight division, and I believe that he will arrive there even stronger and even more dangerous than he is now.
If it's not a 12-round shutout, I'll be putting money on for George to not see the final bell. I just believe it is what it is. It'll be a Haney 3.0, otherwise Hitchins gets it done. You know, I'm a man on my word. I don't talk no nonsense, and I'll say it how it is. I think he's going to get pretty beaten up in there.
That is former IBF champion Liam Paro calling it down the middle, calling it straight. There's no reason to believe that George stands any chance against Hitchins and Hitchins at a higher weight. This is just another version of the Devin Haney fight, Devin Haney fights, both of which George lost emphatically.
Liam has his own fight coming up under the No Limit Promotions banner in his native Australia. I personally think that Matchroom dropped the ball with this fighter. I think they should have had the fight with Richardson Hitchins in Australia, and I think they should have robbed him out there. Robbery!
I think the IBF title would have been better off in the hands of a hard puncher and an action fighter in a Liam Paro than another sugarfoot guy in Hitchins Hitchins. And his upcoming fight with George Cambodia, how many people are actually excited about that? How many people are actually...
Come on.
Said it before, I think it's downright negligent for Matchroom to make a fight like this that nobody wants.
Beyond this fight, I do not anticipate that Hitchins and Hitchins will stay in the super lightweight division, because if he does, he may have to contend with Subriel Matias. If Subriel beats Alberto Puello in their upcoming fight, who do you think he's going to go after that? He's going to go after Hitchins and Hitchins.
All signs point to a move to the welterweight division after the Cambodia fight, based on Hitchins and Hitchins' own comments that he's hunting the big names. Names like Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, and Rolo Romero.
He's not going to get any of those fights.
For what it's worth, I think he could give Teofimo a lot of problems stylistically. Hitchins and Hitchins' style doesn't do Teofimo's any favors. Ryan sucks.
So does Rolly.
But they're both more popular with more marquee value than Hitchins and Hitchins, and America's penchant for making stupid people famous and rich.
He's got absolutely no leverage, no means, and no way to get either of those fighters in the ring.
Beating George Kambosos won't do it, and it's the funniest thing because I remember he was talking down Devin's win over George Kambosos. That was for undisputed, and I remember Hitchins and Hitchins talking it down and trashing it. So why would it mean anything more when you fight that same guy?
It means less.
Because it's at a higher weight. We've seen absolutely nothing from George from the time that he fought Devin till now that would suggest you should get credit for fighting him. Why?
The most that we can hope for is that he makes short work of George Kambosos. We don't need you and him for 36 minutes. Get him out of there.
Knock him out. Vasyl Lomachenko did in his mid-30s. You're in your prime, and you're bigger than both. So get this guy out of there.
Do your job.
I want to hear no shit about why you couldn't put this guy away, but Vasyl Lomachenko did, and he's far removed from his prime. You're supposed to be entering yours, and you're bigger than him, you're bigger than George. You better put this guy away.
Upstairs at super middleweight, Canelo Alvarez, ahead of the Terence Crawford fight, said, "Turkey El Sheikh is the one I'm definitely going to retire with. My body is fine. I can keep fighting for several more years. 37 is the age I want to retire. Not for boxing to retire me. I don't need to do it for the money or the legacy. I said I was going to retire at 37, and I'm sure I will. But if he does, because this is all provided that he actually beats Terence Crawford, and some people don't think he's going to.
Let's just, for argument's sake, say that he does. What's left for a fighter who's as accomplished as a Canelo Alvarez, who's already done so much? Who the hell is he going to fight after that?
Is he another fighter who's in danger of wearing out his welcome in the sport of boxing? Because so many of the more accomplished fighters don't know when to quit while they're ahead. Just hang them up. Roy Jones Jr. almost immediately comes to mind. Manny Pacquiao right behind him is mounting a comeback at 46. Nonito Donaire is mounting a comeback at 42.
Canelo has chosen the more modest age of 37 to walk away from the sport, and we'll see if he does, but he's about 35 now, so what's that? Too close to 3 more years? In that frame, in that time frame, who the hell is he going to fight?
Malenga, have y'all had words with each other?
Definitely, bro. That's a fight I've been wanting. All these fights that I've been wanting, you know, but these guys, they say, oh, he too young. Oh, he ain't really did nothing in the sport yet. It's a big risk, low reward fight, you know, so they rather go another route, you know, and I understand that, you know. But my job is to just keep performing and keep climbing the ranks. You know, those fights are going to happen eventually. You know, they can't hide from me forever, but I'm going to just keep doing what I do, man. Stay focused. And right now I'm focused on Trevor McCumbee, you know, but after I get the win, then I'm kind of everybody.
That's one guy that Canelo may encounter if he remains undisputed champion at this weight. Via the WBO, Diego is coming dangerously close to becoming his mandatory challenger. So you've got Diego via the WBO. You've got Christian Mabili via the WBC, the winner of yesterday's fight in Resendiz.
Remember, Caleb held the WBA Reggie title. Now Resendiz has it. That puts him in line to challenge Canelo via the WBA.
Not exclusive to those guys. There's also the winner of Shiraz versus Berlanga. If Hamza Shiraz beats a common opponent in Edgar Berlanga, he might fight Canelo Alvarez, Chris Eubank Jr.
There was a blurb about him fighting Canelo at some point next year in the UK.
A head count and some of the names that Canelo Alvarez can theoretically keep busy with in the next 2 to 3 years as he arrives at 37 and walks away from the sport. The issue is that
Canelo has reached a stage in his career that very few fighters do, to where at least he feels he's bigger than the sanctioning bodies, bigger than the mandates, bigger than the mandatories.
He has to have it all his way. It's his way or the highway. Simultaneously, there are not that many big fights for him to have. He's done most of what there is to do in the sport of boxing, going as far as becoming an undisputed champion 2 times, being a champion at 4 weights overall.
Now these are solid opponents: Diego Pacheco, Christian Mabili, potentially
Resendiz, even Hamza Shiraz, because if Hamza Shiraz knocks out Edgar Berlanga where Canelo Alvarez did not, that legitimizes him.
That proves that he belongs, and to some degree, he's a force to be reckoned with at super middle. If he knocks out a guy that Canelo didn't knock out, those are credible scalps and good opponents, but not great opponents. Those are good fights, but not great fights.
It's the way the sport of boxing is set up. There's always going to be another challenger. There's always going to be another contender. For an aging fighter and a reigning champion, there will always be another mountain to climb, another battle to fight. Does Canelo Alvarez really have that kind of staying power at 35 to give the sport 2 more years? And more importantly, do you, the consumer, want him to? Or would you prefer that he call it a career sooner?
Part of me wants him to.
I don't think there's that much left for him to do, and I would like to see the super middleweight division reset. I would like to see the belts redistributed, and I would like to see a new crop of fighters fighting each other instead of making it all about him.
But because he's undisputed champion and he has all the belts, they don't have a choice. They have to descend upon him.
And the trouble is that Canelo Alvarez doesn't feel that he has to answer to them. So that creates problems. I respect Canelo, but I don't really know that I want him to hang around for another 2 years, though it's not up to me. It's up to him.